Pro wrestling has long embraced political discourse, often reflecting other forms of entertainment with parodies of political figures. Following the election, TNA extended an invitation to Mrs. Palin to appear on TNA Impact and collect a check for a charity of her choice. However, she did not attend. This attempt was notably echoed with The Governor in TNA, where Daphne portrayed a Sarah Palin impersonator, a concept that fell flat. But this wasn't the end of TNA's invitations. After all, the worst anyone could say was no. 2015 was perhaps the most chaotic year in TNA history, accompanied by a directionless X Division, a problem that plagued TNA during its darkest years. With Billy Corgan and creative showing little interest in the X Division, changes were imminent. After all, they painted the belt green. After multiple title changes earlier in the year, the X Division Championship was vacated due to Option C at Destination X. This set the stage for a new champion to be crowned, and was the moment to provide someone with a stable run with the belt. A tournament was created featuring X Division icons like Grado and some guy named Cruz. Cruz would later go on to become Serpentico in AEW. However, he was never mentioned in TNA before or after this title opportunity. The division was sparse, with no clear contender, except perhaps one man. Or should I say, one Tiger? Yes, Tigre Uno, or Tiger One, as Taz would say. But I digress. Tigre had debuted just over a year earlier at Lockdown. The luchador had garnered a fair amount of hype upon his arrival, but hadn't received much of a push. This tournament victory was a crowning achievement, complete with a nice pop and confetti. For the first time in his run, it felt like TNA was getting behind Tigre Uno, and possibly the X Division as a whole. With Tigre's chase for the title over, it was now time to enter a feud and defend his coveted prize. Frustrated with the state of the division, Tigre made a bold challenge to a WWE Hall of Famer. About a month after his title win, TNA sent out a press release titled, "Trump's About to Get Chumped." The press release stated that the X Division champion had had enough of Donald Trump and would no longer stay silent. Following days of wall-to-wall media coverage of Trump's anti-immigrant comments about Mexicans, Tigre Uno was fed up. He planned to address his fans, the people of Mexico, and Trump directly on TNA Impact. Tigre took to Twitter saying, "I've been silent long enough. Bobby Lashley, tell your good friend Donald Trump that I am proud of my country, my people, my culture. Tigre, a big fan of WrestleMania 23. I'll fix this myself. Donald Trump, if you're man enough to face me, I'm at Impact Wrestling." On Impact, we travel to Tijuana with Tigre Uno, where we get a glimpse into his personal life. Despite the segment feeling like a PBS documentary, it was unique and offered the first real sign of character from Tigre Uno. The editing was well done in telling his story, making me want to see Tigre versus Trump, or at the very least, more of the luchador expressing himself. The following week, Tigre Uno speaks on fatherhood. He bonds with his children, talking to kids about things kids talk about. Once again, this was not a bad segment and provided more insight into who he is as a person. But let's address the elephant in the room. Where is Donald Trump? Well, Christy Hemme has an update for us, revealing that Donald Trump was shockingly not in the Impact Zone. Tigre responded by reiterating much of what he had already stated, though this time he froze several times, leading to an awkward viewing experience. He gave Trump one more opportunity to face him. So, what happened next? Well, nothing. TNA never mentioned the challenge again, and a few months later, Tigre would be competing in the World Title Series. It's unclear what the plan was, if any. Was it just a publicity stunt, or would this have led to a feud with Trump's former tag team partner, Bobby Lashley? Live reports from TNA's tapings suggest that some heels used the Trump angle against Tigre for heat, but for better or worse, this never made it to television. Tigre was given a unique voice in TNA, if only for a couple of weeks. The angle still resonates today and stands as Tigre's only notable TNA storyline before he was dwarfed by the Hurricane and lost his title to Trevor Lee. Perhaps if hashtag Tigre vs. Trump had gone viral, Tigre Uno's career might have taken a different path.